Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer and I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, and the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes. Or if you feel like lurking, go ahead and lurk. Aristophan is here with the Tier 2 blue emote. Ghost Valve is here. Hello, welcome. Ghost Valve just resubbed at Tier 1. That's 25 months. Thank you so much. Let's also throw the emotes in there as a thank you to Ghost Valve. 25 months, that's over 2 years, Ghost Valve. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Aristophan says it's been a busy streaming week. GDQ, Waypoint, Remap, which are kind of the same thing. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. Yeah, look, on Thursday, I totally understand why I did not have a ton of viewers. I'm hoping that tonight we do get a decent amount of them. But yes, Waypoint is now remap, not revamp. It's been revamped into Remap. And they were able to get the business end of it, like control of their like premium subscription service, Waypoint Plus. Basically, they got that. I don't know how they got that. And everything that was part of Waypoint Plus up into the end of Waypoint is now going to be retroactively added to the Waypoint feed. So you can find all that stuff on the Waypoint feed, because the way it worked out with the new business, they don't get the old business stuff. Like the old content is still technically Waypoint content, or Vice content. It's confusing and weird. I don't know anything for sure, but I have an assumption. I'm going to give you an assumption, because it's like, wait, are you telling me that Vice was nice to Waypoint and like just gave them control over a thing that they clearly, those individuals don't have a control over? I don't think so. My assumption is that Vice is getting out of a liability. And that liability is people that are giving them money in exchange for content, which they cannot give them anymore. So it was probably easier to just be like, hey, Patrick, you take this. We don't have a premium subscription model for anything else, so we couldn't give them an equivalent. Like, I forget when like Giant Bomb got brought into the family, saved by the yearly subs. Indeed, Aristophan, the yearly subs need the rest of a year of content, and they don't get that. They wouldn't get that from Vice. But yeah, I remember when Giant Bomb and like, there were some times where it was just like, hey, if you want a year of GameSpot, whatever, you can get that instead. Like, you have to give people an alternative if they've given you a bunch of money. Or like when a magazine closes, if you did a yearly subscription, they give you a different magazine for the rest of the year. They legally have to do that shit, or it opens them up to a bunch of bullshit. So that's my theory, with no evidence to support it. This is just my theory, is that somebody in legal was like, they did yearly subscriptions? Well, then what are we going to give those people? We have to give those people something. They said they have people in Vice in their corner who felt they got yes. So obviously, Lashbrook, this certainly comes down to people on the inside helping them. Of course it does, because the fine folks at Motherboard that helped them set up the subscription thing in the first place, their direct bosses, I'm sure helped with this. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter how many people like you. When money is involved and people who don't know who you are don't care about you. Vice is too big for to like somebody flick a switch and make it work. This was like meetings and like conversations, and like the thing that most likely made it happen is what are you going to do for those people? What are you going to do otherwise? Like, that's the bottom line, right? Like, you don't get that far to make people understand the point without some people helping you, so that you can actually make that point. But you still have to make that point for someone to go, yeah, all right, we'll figure this out. And again, negotiations and all that, and good faith, certainly. The fact that they were explicitly told they would not be laid off, and then they were laid off because something changed with somebody. Like, yeah, I'm sure there are people who are like figuring it out. I'm sorry, I am itchy. I did a lot of yard work today. My apologies for that. It's unprofessional. The air conditioning is on. Love that for me. For me, this on, very good. Also, I got up very early this morning. Not just for me, early in general, because we'll get into the model kit building here, and I'll talk a little bit about why I had to get up early. I'm going to reply to my own tweet, see if we can get a few more friends to join us tonight. Let's go to the overhead. We are working on the, shift that over a little bit. It slid. We are working on the RGM 79FP GM Striker HG, the GM Striker. Working on the GM Striker. We built the chest and the head and then the weapons and the shield. That order is weird to me. Also, until I put the head on, it didn't want me to put on the face stickers, which is also weird. But I did that in my free time. So I've got all this done. Now we're going to work on an arm, and I'm going to tell you why I got up early today. So, last week, it felt like we were wrapping up, me, my friends, my cohorts, were wrapping up our D&D campaign that began in 2021, Zoom, and later Jitsi only, occasionally Discord if people were like, oh, I'm on a different computer. This is the only way I can get this to work, whatever it was. A campaign that began just doing that. We started in 2021. It has not been a full 2 years, but it is close to that. To this morning, we wrapped up our campaign. We thought we were going to finish it last week, but it ended up at we all agreed we give it another week. We are not completely and totally disbanding as a crew. We are merely taking some time apart from one another. I say that, but my regular group of the collective I belong to is going to be meeting. Two of the people at that group are in the collective as well, so I'm sure we'll be gaming again. But we are going to start a new thing. We are still voting on what that's going to be. Some of us would love to do another D&D campaign because we successfully completed a D&D campaign all together. The people that started it finished it. No one left. No one quit. And the very idea that happened for some of us, myself included, means we would like to do it again because that's so unbelievable that happened. A couple other people would like to explore other things, other game systems. We've got a holdout here from our GM who will be happy to play D&D, but is pitching playing something that none of us have ever played before. That was the challenge. What that is, we haven't decided. But they are pitching, what if we did something wholly different that none of us have experience with? And I was like, oh, okay. So I have had to say goodbye to Gunnar Gold Punch, the best Echo Knight in the world. The only Echo Knight that when our campaign began did not understand what an Echo Knight was, did not understand the concept of Echo Knights at all. This completely nonsensical half-orc just literally believed, because that's how I role-played it, believed that every time Gunnar was punching people, another Echo Knight that looked very similar would show up and start punching as well and trying to steal his victories, steal his kills. That is truly what Gunnar believed. And I have to tell you, friends, Gunnar, there were times when people used speech checks and persuasions to try to get me to understand, and I would win those, and eventually I failed a role because I did not want Gunnar to understand what echoes were because it was more fun. And they playfully did this. Nobody was like hated the gimmick. I made sure no one hated it because, or at least they were very good about lying to me about hating it because I didn't want to be annoying. But eventually, the party convinced me that convinced Gunnar that Gunnar was so awesome that sometimes Gunnar would just make another version of Gunnar that also wanted to punch things. And it wasn't a different orc. It was just Gunnar being so good at punching that Gunnar made another puncher. And Gunnar understood that and then eventually realized that this was a skill that Gunnar was using. And it worked out great. And then our fucking GM, our DM, our dungeon master had us fight a party, obviously NPC party that involved 2 half orcs and I sat there for a second, and one of my friends, a dear friend of mine that helped kind of come up with the idea of, hey, we should fucking be doing D&D, was like, Pat, is Gunnar going to understand? Hey, Lord Crashton, was like, Pat, is Gunnar going to understand that those half orcs are not shadow or echoes? And I was like, I don't know. I'm going to have to roll to find out. Luckily, Gunnar understood that those were bad half orcs and not his echoes, which was great. But there was a moment there where people were playfully confused or concerned that Gunnar might not even attack them because Gunnar wouldn't understand. That campaign was very fun. Nobody died. There were a couple we got some pretty close on some party wipes. I'll tell you that. We got pretty close to some party wipes there. Our healer worked overtime on some instances. Our drunken healer, she got better at healing when she drank. That was just her character trait. And one of the last revelations was that she didn't need to drink to be better at healing. It was psychosomatic. What do you do with a drunken healer? Yeah, early in the morning. Yeah. You convince her that she doesn't need to drink to be a good healer. She just likes drinking, and it's fine. That was a really good campaign. It was a very good time. Again, I am still part of a RP collective. We will still be hanging out. We're going to be, probably starting a new campaign. Again, we don't know what. We're going to take a break. It has been less than 2 years of us, sometimes weekly, sometimes every other week. There was a week and a half, a month and a half break at one point because two of the people in the party, I should say, had other commitments they had to take care of. They had to do some work stuff. They had deadlines they really needed. And then again, I've said this before. I will reiterate. One of the very best things about this, D26 and D27, which are down over here. 28. Oh, I already did that part. I was like, how come I can't find the pieces I need? Because I already did. Whoa, Silver Streak just raided with a party of 30. What's up, Raiders? Hello. We got a silver raid coming through. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to go to this camera. Hi. Welcome, Raiders, the old Bill with Baer Workshop. If you don't know me, my name's Pat Baer. Good evening to you. I'm a model kit builder. I'm going to be working on a model kit tonight. We'll talk a little bit about it in a second. Welcome. Yeah, I build model kits and Lego sets. Once a week, I play video games or do like a talk back. This past Tuesday, we watched a lot of old Japanese wrestling, which is very fun. But primarily, I build model kits and hang out. Talk about anime, talk about video games, talk about the world, whatever comes up. I would say it's a pretty good time. Hit the follow button if you'd like. Subscribe if you want some cool emotes that you just saw there in chat. Hang out. If you just came along on the raid and you weren't sure what you were coming in for, have a great night. That's about it. There's not like a lot of rules when it comes to the old build with Baer Workshop. Silver Streak just gifted 2 subs. My buddy Ian just got a sub. Kumahara and Win Record just got a sub. So thank you very much. Let's throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, and the Tier 2 Blue emote if you are a subscriber in the chat. And thanks Silver Streak for gifting 2 subs to the channel. It's very kind of you, Silver Streak. A raid and some gifted subs. Always appreciated. Always nice to be over that. Our goal is 40 subscribers a month. So to hit over that is always nice. Appreciate you very much. But yeah, friends, welcome. I was just talking about how my D&D campaign for almost 2 years has just come to an end with my crew, and we're taking a break from running together. We're going to come back. We're going to figure out either another D&D campaign or we're going to do something new. We're still debating that. I would prefer to do D&D because in the one-shot collective I'm a part of, yes, Silver Streak, a successful campaign. We did it. We finished everything. We did what we set out to do. We started with the same amount of people. We ended with the same exact people, not an amount. The same people that we ended with, which to me was very important. Even if we had to take breaks, we were doing this together because there was one of the ideas behind getting together with this was because there were a couple people that had never done anything like this before. They'd done like improv, but they hadn't done a D&D campaign full through. They got into D&D podcasts. They wanted to do it. And then we had a great DM. And then we also had somebody who was like, I've never finished a campaign. I don't care how long it takes. I want to finish a campaign. So that was kind of like, oh, and then the last big thing that we said was, our last big push was, okay, we want to do all this. We're not monetizing. This is not going to be a career. This is not going to become a thing. We're not going to record any of it. We're not making a podcast. We're not putting it on YouTube. This is, you can do it with other groups. This is a hangout group. We are doing this for this, which I think is important because all of us are creatives in different fields, but all of us monetize our own hobbies within that group. Every single person in there monetized our hobbies in some way, shape, or form. And we wanted to make sure that at the very least, that campaign, there was never a concern of like, we should probably put up a thing on YouTube, see if anybody's in it. Like, no, none of that. Silver Streak says, I keep meaning to check out this new cyberpunk themed one-shot focused TTRPG that I got, but I haven't had a chance yet. The concept materials are fantastic. So if you want something easy to run, check out CBR PNK. Thank you very much for that, Silver Streak. It's good to know. I'm not a big cyberpunk like person per se. Lord Crashington just used channel points and wants me to dance, so I am legally required to press the dance button, with song that changes every month, and then we're gonna have a little dance party. All my dance music is good and terrible and won't get me demonetized on any platform. That one in particular with its fake ass computer generated horns, I really just like the vibe of. It's not even like shows up in a YouTube video that someone uses as like one of their go-tos, and you hear it in a different YouTube video, and you're like, "What? Oh, wait, why? What's that from?" And you're like, "No, this like a YouTube channel of this guy that makes weird computer builds is using a song that's the theme song from the lady that is restoring a big old house in Germany. No, why do they have the same song? Because they're using the same library? No, that breaks my brain. Why is this podcast about nutrition using, why is its break music the theme song to a guy that reviews weird mods for Game Boys? Like, what? Why is that happening? It's all... Do you ever realize you're too online? When I start recognizing music themes, YouTube music, when I start recognizing that, that's when I realize, oh, I'm too online. Silver Streak throwing in one last thing about CBR plus PNK. Understandable as far as not being into the themes cyberpunk. That's just not my style. While I like some of the cyberpunk aesthetics, sometimes games around it and generally vibes around it can be too much. That said, this is basically the idea of this is your last job, so you tend to focus. You don't tend to focus on the heavy crunch stuff. This is the last job is a great premise for a one-shot. I'll say that right now. That is a fantastic premise of just like, hey, you know what? All we got to do is we got to finish this one last gig, and then we're like one day to retirement. That is fun. Yes, Silver Streak, thank you for having your TED Talk. Appreciate it. The collective that I'm a part of, which I'm still active in, is a Discord with just links to like doodles, like the scheduling software or scheduling program, and it is just, I mean, there's like the off conversation, off topic is vibrant because there's a lot of creatives. But the concept of this collective is let's get a bunch of people that can run games and let's get a bunch of players and someone will say like, hey, I can run a game on Saturday at noon Eastern for for 3 hours or 4 hours. And I'm looking for 4 people to come in. I want to run a group. I'm running Fiasco. Another people will be like, I'm going to run Lasers and Feelings. I'm going to run D&D, and I'm up for whatever version you want, and whatever. We're looking for this many players. And the larger branch idea of it is, it's a guild. It's an adventuring guild, and you can keep the same characters. You can make up backstory. You can make up interactions between people, but it's just like, all right, hey, here's a quest. We want to complete this quest in this session for this guild. We've been assigned a task. And some people are like, I can't play this month, but here's a bunch of ideas for one-shots that I had. There's a lot of like people just being like, I saw someone wanted to do an underwater adventure, and I haven't done one of those. Does anyone want to run that? Like, it's a lot of that. I describe it much like the cartoon Mask, where at the beginning it was like, we have to do this, call these 4 people, and then 4 people got summoned to do it. It's kind of like that kind of thing, where it's like, oh, the right people for the job got called in. It's very fun. I know at this point I've played with most of the people. Obviously there are people in the collective who have never actually done anything. They just got invited and then they're like just kind of lurking or just never had time or whatever. But I played with most of the people that are active. I've run a bunch of Fiasco. I believe the anecdote that we had 2 new people, and there was an anecdote that came out of that, which I, with permission, tweeted about, where someone who was new turned to another person, turned cameras, you get what I'm saying, was like, hey, you were really funny. Not to be rude, do you do improv? And that was just hilarious to me. They were like, hey, I'm not trying to insult you, but you feel like an improviser. Made me laugh a lot. That person was an improviser. And as an improviser myself, that definitely made me laugh. But then I was also like, oh, I wasn't funny? I probably was. I was pretty damn funny in that game. It's a weird thing of like, there are naturally funny people in the world. There are people who work really hard to get to be funny. And then there are people who work really hard and are never funny. And to me, one of the saddest things in the world is there are some people out there that I know that spent a lot of time, energy, and most importantly, money to just never be funny improvisers. Technically talented, rules understanding, supportive, lovely people. But there are a few people in my life that it was just like, the part where I laugh at the thing you just did doesn't happen that often, though. And I'm not saying everybody needs to be like the center of. You do need people in your improv team or your improv group or whatever, your improv show. You do need people to like play along and make the thing happen and make the moves that are like going to move things along and set other people up for the jokes. But at a certain point, you should just be doing theater exercises because the funny part isn't happening. I will talk about improv for too long if I am let. So I am forcing myself to change the subject, everybody. We're going to jump into a very different topic of conversation. We're going to talk about summer games done quick, which is, you're not wrong, kind of came out of nowhere and is happening sooner than you might have thought. It's happening now. And you might have been like, yeah, Pat, it's like barely, it started in May? What's going on? I believe that is venue specific. They have been going through a bunch of stuff with like trying to not be an organization that ran a show in Florida and running into just like a bunch of things. And so it's been running. Have I watched it live? Not a lot of it. I've watched some of it live and I've enjoyed my time with what I've seen live. But I haven't watched all of it live. What I have been doing is checking out the GDQ YouTube channel. Because that way sometimes I pick really short runs of like the games that are clearly terrible. Like, ooh, you beat this game in 25 minutes, huh? I've never heard of it. Oh, I watched the Titanfall 2. Yes, I've heard very good things about the Titanfall 2 run. I have not checked that out. But also sometimes I'm just like, I really like this game, and it will be interesting to see how people run this game. So I'm going to talk through a few, recommend all of the ones that I'm mentioning here. Yeah, Aristofan says, I've not watched much this year. The early time caught me off guard. Yeah, totally. The only reason I knew it was happening is because they started doing YouTube Shorts this year. And I've been watching a lot of YouTube Shorts on my phone while I was waiting for things to happen. It just ended up, I don't know. And so I saw a bunch of their YouTube Shorts and I was like, oh, that's happening soon. Okay. That's kind of the only way I knew about it. All right, I'm going to make sure I do this right the first time. Working on the arm here so that I don't have to do this right the second time. And I don't have to fix my mistakes. That's always the goal, is to try to nail it the first time. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you just don't nail it the first time. You got to do it again. It happens. All right, so all of these are available on YouTube. I have watched these, and I can recommend them to you. The first one, I believe, was an early. I don't know if it was like first day or first whatever, but it was early in the process. Okay, so let's make sure. Does this look right? This looks wrong. I did this piece wrong, I think. So I'm going to pop this out and take a look at it. Bug Snacks by Conception and I think it's Limey or Limmy. Limmy, sorry, it's Limmy. Okay, is that on wrong? No, this is on right. Okay, this is accurate. I did do the. I did this wrong though. Okay. I did this very wrong. The next one will be a lot easier because I'll have understood what I did right and wrong for the next build, or the next arm, I should say. Yeah, Bug Snacks in 34 minutes, 51 seconds. So this was a co-op run, but it was all bosses co-op. So what they did is they just split the bosses between the two of them. So it was mostly them doing like the same run, and then they'd split off to divide and conquer, which is a really interesting premise for that. I thought that was a really interesting idea. Okay, I think I did this right. I think this is correct. I'll find out later if I did this wrong or not, but I think I did this right. So that was really fun. Also, a couple devs from Young Horses were there on the couch. And that's neat. I love it when devs are excited about that. And then here's a fun fact from that run. I'm not going to try to give like spoilers to the run, but this is just a fun little bit of business. They talked about how there were a couple of skips in the game that got patched out. And one of the runners in the Discord was like, hi, just a quick question. Did you was it important to patch this out, or was this a side effect to something else you were patching? And they, in at least in one case, they patched the patch to undo the skip. They basically made a skip possible again because it didn't affect anything for normal players, but they wanted to encourage the speedrunners. And I think that is cool as hell. That's just neat that they were like, oh, yeah, we want to make sure that people that are doing this have a good time with it. All right, so is this one of these pieces? Yeah, okay. All right, figuring this out, making it work. Here we go. So that one was really fun. Ring Fit Adventure. Oh, boy. Ring Fit Adventure by Virxel, I think is how you say that name. It was Beat World 1, max difficulty, no assist modes on. That was incredible to watch. And you're like, Pat, I don't understand. Why is it just Beat World 1? Well, because the speed run record apparently is a little over 11 hours. So that for the whole game. So that is not something you can do just in the game. Or just, for GDC, GDQ. I don't know why I said the GDC. GDQ. You can't just do that. So that was really neat. I thought that was cool. Also, you could tell, feeling the burn by the end of it. And heart rate check at the end of that 18 and a half minutes. Heart rate of 162, and then donated $162 for that, which is just neat and cool. A cool little bit of business. Another heart racing game was a showcase. No, speed runs in this. It's just a showcase of cool shit. Was of course the Stepmania X showcase by Zephyr Glaze, WDRM, and Chesmix. And that was on the Stepmania X machine, which was very cool. You got to see, it was nice to see them rotate because there'd be two people dancing, obviously not all three, or there'd be one person dancing and they rotated through, which I'm sure was helpful for all of them. So you got some solo, you got some two mat dancing, you got some intense moving around and it chasing and on all that, and mirror dancing. At least one chart, there was at least one blind where a chart got uploaded directly before the event, and so the person who was doing it hadn't seen before and just kind of had to cold read it, which is neat. I thought that was really neat. And I like watching people be very good at fake ass not real DDR. It's just really fun to watch that. So I'd recommend that. Hey, there was a Hearthstone speed run. There's a Hearthstone community out there that does the solo adventures. In case you didn't know, there are solo adventures in Hearthstone. Solo content where you get some cards at the end and you have to complete them. I have done a few of them. I haven't done that many of them because it was never my interest. But apparently there's a speedrunning scene for that, which I was unaware of. But it's still kind of cool. This was Knights of the Frozen Throne by SRD27. Completed that in 21 minutes and 31 seconds, which is pretty rad. And I've barely played any solo adventures. I don't remember if I've finished Knights of the Frozen Throne, but now I'm interested in like going back and check. Like obviously, like not the speed run elements of it, like some card dialogue skips and all that, but some of the strategies. I was like, I should probably take a look at some of these. Any solo adventures that I purchased in the past that I never finished, I'm like, oh, I could find the winning strats now. And like, new cards and stuff get updated and all that. It's kind of interesting. I don't know. I know that's not for everybody. That's not like I don't know anything about this game, but I'll still watch it. Like, I totally understand why some people would be like, no, Pat, that I have no interest in that. But for me, that was pretty cool. Let's see. What else we got going on here? Hey, the world record holder for Bastion did Bastion in 5 minutes and 52 seconds. Is a race. And it was an any percent race by Primerix and C Average. And Primerix apparently hadn't done it in a while and came back. And it was a very good race. It was really fun to watch. That's just a game that has been like completely understood and taken apart. That was mind-boggling. Yes. It was so good. So good. So that's obviously 5 minutes, 52 seconds. That's a short watch. You can just watch that. For some reason, we're not building this hand, but we built this arm. We're not building the hand yet. I'm going to double check to see. Yeah. And then I got to put a sticker on the back of this, and then we'll be done. So let me do the sticker that's got to go on the back of this. While I tell you about Hitman 3 by Front 7 in 33 minutes, 29 seconds. Freelancer mode, any percent. So it's the freelancer speed run, not the the full 3 run. Okay, so I got to find a symbol. This is a thin one here. Is that this one? It's not that one. So is it this one? Again, these aren't numbered in a way that I can read easily, so I'm just doing my best. These are color correcting stickers. Do I like color correcting stickers? No, I don't like color correcting stickers. Does it really need it? It is nice to have the gold yellow, because there's not a lot of... I mean, there's only so much yellow that actually comes with this, or the gold, the orangish. Like, there's not a lot of it. It's not really orange, it's yellow, but you know what I'm saying. There's not a lot of it in here, so... Where does this go? Oh, this goes like this, okay. So could this have been a piece of plastic? Of course it could have been. Was it going to be a piece of plastic? No. It's going to be a color correcting sticker instead. I'm going to struggle with it a bunch. I'm going to be mad at it for a little while, and then I'll figure out how it applies, and then the next one will apply even better. Silver Streak, feel free to lurk. Happy you're here. Figure out your dinner. No problem. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for bringing in a crew. Very kind. Thank you, everybody, for sticking around. Those that came in on the raid. Appreciate that. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday night with me as I build a model kit and hang out. Hitman 3. There are still map exits I wasn't aware of. There were like 2 that happened in the game, and I was like, wait, there's a wetsuit? And what? And I just never came across it. Because the content creators I know who play a lot of Hitman 3 never used that, so I just never saw it. It's very strange, but really fun. That was a good time, the Hitman 3 one. And the last one is, obviously there are more that I haven't seen yet, but one that made me really happy was Give Me Toilet Paper, which is considered to be the newest game because there's a submission deadline, and it had come out, I think, like a couple days before the submission deadline. So this is Oscar424, completed Give Me Toilet Paper in 9 minutes, 54 seconds. It's very stupid of a game. It was very fun to watch. This feels like a speed run game that will have some legs and will have like a community for a while. Basically, you take a Joy-Con, you stick it in a toilet paper roll, and then you roll, because you don't need the toilet paper roll, you just use the Joy-Con. But you roll the toilet paper roll to move it down some like puzzles and traps and stuff to get toilet paper to a person who desperately needs toilet paper. It is a nonsense game for nonsense people, but I'm very happy that there's a speed run of it, and at least one person in the speed run community for said game. It's just a good time. That was silly. That's the silly one. It's nice to have a silly one now and again. I still have to go through. Obviously, I kind of picked and chose the stuff I wanted to watch. Like some of the ones that are over an hour, I just didn't get to yet. I have a big playlist set up of the ones that I haven't seen yet. But there are always going to be some good games. Like I only watched some of the Titanfall 2. I need to watch the rest of it. If there was any Fallout stuff, I haven't seen any of the Fallout stuff. I don't know if it's there this year because not everything comes back every year. I always like watching the Fallout runs because those games are so well known, broken. But yeah, I gotta kind of go through and pick out some stuff to check out soon. And I will. So yeah, that's my summer games done quick so far. If you've been watching any of them and you want to let me know in the chat, feel free to. But again, you can find it all on their YouTube. Also, hey, I'm going to say this right now, friends, because this was a thing I didn't know until, I don't know, maybe a year ago. They do stuff all year round. They have their 2 big events, but they have a Twitch presence throughout the year, and of course it all goes to charity. And there are like smaller events like Femme Fatales. There are some people that have shows that go through like starting, like they have a series about starting off with a new game, like starting from scratch with a speed run, or like doing some classic games. They have lots of races. Their YouTube channel is active throughout the year, and their Twitch channel as well, so you can see more stuff. And I'm saying that you're all learned, you know what's going on, but like maybe you didn't know. I didn't know for quite some time, so that is just a cool thing that you need to check out if you want to. All right, other things we can talk about tonight. Speaking of games, we can briefly chat about Blaseball is done. Blaseball kind of stopped its a season and was like, we're gonna be back, and now they're not. It's a real shame. The Coronation era is ended, and Blaseball is done. I was a fan of the concept, but never really got into it. I did make an attempt, but it felt like how do I want to say this? It didn't always feel the most approachable. And I have friends who were deep into it. I mean, worst comes to worst, I never pulled the trigger on it. I could have just asked Felix. Could have just been like, hey, Felix Kramer, what's up? Please, can you tell me about Blaseball? I don't know. I assume the card game came out. Last time I saw Felix was great. I didn't know I was going to see him. Was at PAX Unplugged because they were taking pre-orders for the Blaseball tabletop game or card game, which I think came out, but don't fully quote me on that. But it's a shame. The basic idea is like a live weird game like that. Like that's not a feasible thing to do, even as a passion project. That's not a feasible business to be a part of. And the realities of that caught up with them. And that's a shame, and it's understandable. But it's not, unfortunately, super surprising. But yeah, it's just not a sustainable business. They got a whole Medium post about it at the thegameband.medium.com, the most recent one. It's not a long read. But yeah, the garages, I think, are still going to make music, which is, if the legacy of Blazeball is that a bunch of weirdos who were really into Blazeball made their own band and then made incredible music and made so much music and got so into it that they're now like a record label for other weird bands. If that's the legacy of Blazeball, that's pretty fucking good. That's pretty rad. If that ends up being their legacy is, well, a lot of people got to make some cool music. Like that ain't bad. It's not ideal, of course. Because in an ideal world, they'd still get to make cool music. But, or not cool music, they make a cool game. But if that's going to be their legacy, I think that's a pretty neat legacy. It's a shame, but it's understandable why that came to a close. And yeah, so people lost their jobs, and that's awful. And there are other people in the game band that are figuring out what the next step is for them. But yeah, I was sad to read that. That was a sad thing to hear. There are rumors right now. We occasionally hear, friends that are new to the channel, we occasionally on here give an update on whatever goofy, dumb bullshit is coming out with Twitter. We kind of do a Twitter update here. And the latest Twitter update I can give you is there are rumors that Birdwatch, indeed, that on some devices, the Google Translate button that would show up, that would just auto-translate something for you, if you click the button, isn't showing up on some devices. I can still use it on mobile. Not on mobile, I'm sorry. I can still use it on the web, so I don't know. I can't tell you for sure that that's going away. But there are rumors that it's going away because it costs Twitter a little bit of money every time they use Google for that. And so that has been rumors that that's going away. Again, these are only rumors and speculation. It may be an update to Twitter on the mobile just fucked it up. Well, so yeah, it could also be that they weren't paying their bill. I don't know, but it's still working on. So that's the thing. If they weren't paying the bill, then it wouldn't still work. Because I use it today. Because I follow a few Japanese wrestlers who don't write things in English, which is okay. It's fine that they don't. They shouldn't have to. I can't read Japanese, but they shouldn't have to do the translation on their own and post like double tweets. Like, that's fine. I'm not mad about that, but I did notice that I was like, I'm not sure that stopped working. But yeah, there's rumors they're going to do that. Also, 2 different Twitter safety executives have exited the company. I saw it not working consistently on the iOS app. That might also be the shitty people they have still working there. You know, it's one of those things like it could be by design. It also could be by incompetence, which is fun. So yeah, what do we got here? AJ Brown departed from the one of the Twitter safety executives departed shortly after Alana Irving, who was the head of trust and safety, left on Thursday. This is most likely related to him going over their heads and then going out of his way to retweet some real fucking transphobic garbage, and people being like, okay, I'm out of here. I'm taking this one personally. Get out of here. I don't think the people that work there are shitty. Probably no. So, John, I do think for sure that there are people there who are overworked. I do also think that there are people who are shitty at their job, because obviously folks that have visa issues, folks that moved because suddenly they have to go back to the office, so they had to move to another place. All those folks, I totally understand. But then there are also going to be people there that are just too incompetent at what they do to get a job somewhere else, or think that things are only going to get better at Twitter because now Elon's in charge. So there are definitely some sycophants that are there, and they are not good at their jobs. And also, a lot of the good people left. Yeah, there are people who are bad there. Yes. Yeah, but there are people who left and they didn't get replaced, and they don't know what to do with and the people that are there don't know what, like, there's like chains of command that just, because so many people didn't blink when given an ultimatums, that they're just like, oh no, what do we do now? How does this work? So it's fun over there. But that's your bird update. Shit sucks. Let's see if there's any gaming news. If you bought Knights of the Old Republic 2, the Switch port, you are not getting the DLC, the restoration DLC. I'm sorry that you are not getting that. That's a quick hit. I don't have anything like that. Let's see. I am not currently playing Diablo 4 because I bought the version that doesn't come out till Tuesday, and that's fine. I had stuff to do this weekend. I couldn't be running around doing all that shit. I would have liked to have, but I got stuff going on. I'm a busy man. I got things to do. I'm going to be playing it on Tuesday, not on stream. On stream next Tuesday. John, there are 2 of 3 versions of Diablo that if you bought those versions, you could be playing right now. Except on PlayStation 5 where it wasn't working. It might be working now, but it didn't work on Friday. But if you just bought the regular old-ass version, you get that on Tuesday. But you could spend more and get it early and also get the Battle Pass, which I don't want. So Diablo 4 is not out now. Unless you spend a lot of money. Then it is out now. So it's fun. First Fan says I'm playing on PS5. I spent a lot of money. There you go. I love how you need a lookup tablet for version platform. Yes. Yes, indeed. Fuck Bobby Kotick. The fun Bobby Kotick saying dumb shit on Variety Edition. Yeah. I bought that game. I'm not going to stream that game. I feel weird about streaming Blizzard games. I also love having video games that are just for me, like Hitman 3 or Hitman in general. You've never seen me stream a Hitman game. You will most likely never see me stream a Hitman game because I don't want to stream a Hitman game on stream, so I won't. But yeah, I'm not playing Diablo 4 yet. I'm going to be playing it on my own time. You make your own decisions on that one. You do you. Respect it. But, in February, I did a little Hearthstone on stream during my marathon, my subathon, I should say. Next subathon, June 23rd, my birthday. I'll turn 43, and on my 43rd birthday, my one wish is that people hang out while I stream, and then also I hope that I get to the number 86, which would be the most I've ever had as far as subscribers. Double my birthday, my age, I should say. Let's see. Let's do some quick hits here. I have heard that Everybody 1-2 Switch is apparently terrible. I have heard so much shit about this Nintendo game, which is a first-party Nintendo game called Everybody 1-2 Switch. I have just heard that it sucks shit since people started talking about it last year. It's a $30 game. It comes out on the 20th. You can pre-order it. Oh, Mountain Dilk. Yep, Mountain Dilk is a that is my if I hit 86 subscribers on my birthday, I'll drink half a full glass, half which will be Mountain Dew, half which will be milk. That's my fucking promise. Let's see. We got the new Joy-Cons coming out. But yes, as far as we've heard, it sucks. Fanbyte made a big report about it last year, how like the testing, everyone hated it, and then it's been a year since, and now it's just kind of coming out with like no fanfare. So that's weird for like normally you would just assume Nintendo would just be like, to hell with this. It's not good. Nobody likes it. We're not putting it out. But apparently they are putting 1-2 Switch, or sorry, everybody 1-2 Switch out. So I look forward to Loading Ready Run doing a stream where they play it. I think that's going to be my best bet. Maybe, you know what? Also, what am I saying? Giant Bomb will probably do it. The Nextlander will probably check it out. Maybe Remap will. I don't know. You know, but Loading Ready Run at least streams all together so they could do it in person. So that's why I assume that they'll definitely be doing it. They had to get somebody to wear one of those big horse masks to make it look appealing. Yes. Ooh, it looks bad. Let's see. We talked about Yuji Naka before in the past. He is currently looking like he could face 2.5 years in prison. Remember, this was the Sonic Team co-founder, Balan Wonderworld director, insider trading stocks regarding the Dragon Quest Tact and Final Fantasy VII for Soldier. Also, I do want to remind you a thing that we hadn't said before because we didn't know. That game has already been shut down. Unrelated, as far as I can tell, to his stock insider trading was that Final Fantasy VII, The First Soldier, is not a game that you can play anymore. Prosecutors are asking for not going to face 2 years and 6 months and a 1.2 million fine in U.S. dollars, the equivalent. Apparently, it's going to find out on the 7th. But he did trade $1 million in U.S. Equivalent in stocks. So, and he was arrested separately for the Dragon Quest case, and then a month later for the Final Fantasy case. So you know, I got to put stickers on, and I don't know where these go. They go on this on the chest. It's very funny because I just see like sticker but I don't see where it's pointing. So I'm going to look at these stickers. I think they go on the chest. Once the arms are on, then they're like, "Hey, put these stickers on." I think they're going to be more gold stickers. Here's another thing I can do. I can take this photo and enlarge it. Nope, that's not going to help me. I can open this photo and look at it, because sometimes that's helpful. Sometimes the photos I have here are renders. Sometimes they are photographs of the actual kit. All right, so, okay, yeah, so this is going to be, that goes on. Okay, I can see where these look. They go here. Okay, right here is where I'm going to be putting a sticker. I can see that now. I might keep this photo up because the render doesn't always make it clear what's a sticker and what is a photograph. So that's always fun. Let's put these stickers on, and then we'll take a pause for the cause, and I'll explain what that is in a moment or two. Okay, so it's this one. Wait, no. I don't know which symbols I'm looking. Oh, it's these. It's over here. I got it now. Again, color correcting stickers. My least favorite. I also don't particularly love stickers that you have to bend around. Those are frustrating as well. These are fine. Also, I feel like I could have put the sticker on easier without the arms on, but whatever. let's see. Should also, oh yeah. So thankfully, Kotaku does have information about this, the Final Fantasy game, which I didn't only heard about. I only heard about this Final Fantasy mobile game in relation to this, like, insider trading. The First Soldier launched on the Final Fantasy VII. The First Soldier launched on mobile devices November 17th, 2021, and servers were shut down on January 11th, 2023. So it did last a little while. So not terrible, but it obviously was not a hit, enough of a hit. Company said it wasn't able to deliver the experience it was hoping to. Okay. Also, he talked a lot of shit about Square Enix before he went. And then people were like, cool, dude. Cool. He talked a lot of shit. And then might go to prison. So, unrelated to the shit talking that he did say, but still, come on, dude. All right, we are almost done with the top half of this kit, but it is time, friends, to take a little pause for the cause. And you might be asking yourself, Pat, what does that mean? Well, this is an opportunity for me to talk to y'all about ways you can support the channel. If I had sponsors, this is where I would be doing my ad reads. So I'm ad reading for myself. It will only take a few minutes. Also, all the things I'm about to say here are optional. You don't have to do any of these things. But if you would like to, that'd be rad. First and foremost, if you're currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 Blue emote. It's me as Super Saiyan, God Super Saiyan Blue. You can do that. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through cash money, buying a membership here through Twitch. You could use your Prime gaming token. If you Amazon Prime linked with your Twitch, you do that. Also, Silver Streak gifted some subs and joined the gift sub leaderboard. You could gift a sub to somebody in the community anonymously, or you can take credit for it and show up there. It's always an option. Also, bits and coins are always appreciated. If you feel like cheering, you could cheer. Now, if you're like, Pat, I would like to help you on a monthly basis, but I am not interested in helping out through Twitch. I don't care if I see ads now and again. I don't want to give Twitch any money. Ooh, I am dropping frames right now, which is frustrating. And hopefully that'll all come back. It looks like it's back now. Sorry about that, everybody. Dropped some frames there. I dropped 300 frames. That's a shame. Anyway, if you don't want to help me out through Twitch, who apparently heard me talking shit and fucked with me there a little bit, consider the possibility that you might want to go over to my Patreon. Yes, Lord Crashing In, I was framing. I have a Patreon, patreon.com/PatBear. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. Find a tier that's right for you if you want to. Also, should mention that I have a YouTube channel at youtube.com/PatBear. If you hop over to my YouTube channel, subscribe, because that's free, and that's an easy way to help me out without spending any money. I post a bunch of videos over there. I do every other Monday. I do a video series. I put a new episode up, and then every Wednesday I do a new video. So there's content like consistently at my YouTube channel. There's also memberships there. If you want to get my Wednesday video on Tuesday, you could become a member. It's like $2 a month. And then there's one-time donations. If you like what you see and you just would like me to keep being able to buy model kits and keep building model kits, you could make a one-time donation through Ko-fi or Stream Elements or PayPal if you don't want to do a monthly thing. And also, everything I make through direct donations through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me, through Patreon, through Twitch, all goes into a fund, and I buy model kits with that. I picked up this kit. This is an old kit, and I just liked the look of it and decided I was going to pick this up, that it would be fun to build it. I do have an Amazon wish list. If you want to jump the queue and decide the next thing that I build, you could buy something off Amazon, and I would build it on stream. We'll take a quick gander over my Amazon wish list right now. I've got inexpensive Lego. I just added some new Lego to there, a couple new 3-in-1s. So I have inexpensive Lego. I've got some inexpensive model kits, some expensive model kits, some Pokemon kits, a bunch of different things. I would love to build this Lego Creator 3-in-1 exotic parrot to frog to fish. So it's a 3-in-1. So in the same box, you can build 3 different things. And that parrot just looks fucking rad. I would love to build that out of Lego. But yeah, I got model kits and Lego sets, inexpensive things, very expensive things. Because, like, I don't know, maybe you do want to spend $36 for me to build a model kit. I don't know. Look, I don't know who out there is like, I will spend $36 for Pat to build the Gundam Maxter high grade, 1/100 scale high grade from 1994. I don't know who's out there that would buy that, but it's right now you can get it for $36. And it'll come to me in the mail and I'll build it. Again, very silly. That's a silly thing to have there, but it's nice to have some variety. I have a Throne wish list. Throne is very careful about privacy. Now, for me, you know, in my name, it's my username, right? But for some people, maybe some people that make more adult-oriented content, having a wish list that's very secure would be a priority. So Throne exists, and I think Throne does a great job. I've got a few things on there that I think are pretty neat. So take a look at that. And then also you just go to USA Gundam Store, buy a gift card at USA Gundam Store, send me a DM on Twitter or whisper here on Twitch with that code that you get in your email, and then I will take that lovely gift card code and buy something on USA Gundam Store. A fine family-run business coming out of Florida that are pretty great about getting you shit on time. Sometimes they don't get shipments, or they pre-sold probably too many and then they got shortchanged. But for the most part, it's a good little company. If you want to support me and not spend any money, I have a Discord. Maybe you want to join my Discord. That's a lovely little spot. You can jump in on there. A cool little spot for people. A couple of video links for you to check out. Pat Baer's Anime Club. I will have a new episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club on Monday, which I recorded today and I think turned out pretty great. But if you missed the last one that I did, maybe you want to check out the latest Pat Baer's Anime Club that exists out there on the internet. Which is me ranking all of the Crunchyroll originals, because Crunchyroll for a while there, pre-buyout by Sony, was producing some original content. They were producing some stuff, new things. They were producing some manhwa, trying to get into that market, a bunch of different stuff. So some of those are great and some of those are not great. And then Baerly Rehearsed, the last thing I'll promote here. Baerly Rehearsed is an ongoing video series that I do every Wednesday. It's part of my year project, where every Wednesday I do, for a year, I do a similar thing in the same vein. This is Baerly Rehearsed, where I write and perform some characters, and I promise I have rehearsed it to some capacity. That's about it. This one's a silly idea that I was happy with how it turned out. This character is called, this video is called Randy, the Soapbox. It's Randy's Soapbox. And I wrote down some other ideas for Randy. I think Randy's going to become a recurring character. He's a guy who tells it like it is. It's just, he's not saying, what he's saying is silly. That's basically it. It's a fun little video. It's short. A lot of the Baerly Rehearsed are very short. Occasionally they get long. For the most part, they're pretty short. All right, I'm going to talk about some anime that I've been watching, because we're in the second hour now. Before I do that, though, I do need to drink a little water, and we need to dramatically transition back to the overhead. So we'll do that right now. All right. So we're going to talk about some anime here. I'm also going to, we're going to complete the top half of this kit. by building the hand we need. We could use the gun, but we're definitely going to be using this beam saber lancer, which is a silly idea. The idea that they built like a lance to hold beam sabers is so goofy that we have to build that. And while I'm working on that, I will tell you about my love story with Yamada-kun at level 999. This is a romantic comedy series about a young lady who joined she only, honestly, guys, she only got involved in this playing an online MMO because her boyfriend played. But then she got dumped. And so the people that she met in that game, she's met in real life, and adventures have ensued. Some friendships have developed. And more importantly, she met Yamada. And they maybe are going to date at some point. Who knows? She definitely has realized she has feelings for him. He is not good at acknowledging feelings in general, and any kind of relationship stuff. He's a very pretty man that people have been interested in a long time, but because he's not really sure of himself in that regard, it has been rough for people that have wanted to pursue a relationship with him, which we learned because in the last episode, our girl Akane got sick, and we're dealing with that, the fallout of that. But also, while that happens, we met Tsubaki. Tsubaki is a childhood friend, a classmate of Yamada, who we learn has been in love with him for a long time, and she waited too long, and she feels like she definitely waited too long because she heard that a girl that liked him in middle school got bullied a lot and she ended up transferring schools because some people were so aggressive about their own like of him that they got bullied, and it's like, oh, that fucking sucks. So now I like Tsubaki a little bit more. She unfortunately she was introduced as an annoying jealous girl, which she is not the first character to be introduced as an annoying jealous girl. So that's frustrating. I'm not a big fan of that shit. Just being like, oh, hey, it's time to meet another girl. She's also going to suck ass. It's like, that's frustrating. All right, let's get the sticker we need here. We need a D28 and D29. We don't need a sticker. We need plastic here. Building a hand. Yamada apparently used to avoid girls just in general because he didn't want, he didn't know how to help that one girl, and he felt bad about it. So Akane got some medicine in the hospital, and then Yamada brought her home, and she doesn't really remember what happened, but she wakes up and he's there, and she's freaked out about it. But she's like, okay, thank you. It's so nice to be able to count on you. Our girl's got feelings for Yamada, but he's like, feels weird about it, and coincidentally does remember about the girl that he was never able to help that got bullied because of her feelings for him. So he feels weird about that still to this day. Akane talks to about how her own breakup ended and how that didn't work out, and how he's been helpful, and that kind of makes Yamada feel better. So in a thing that no longer surprises me, because I feel like the author of this manga just goes for like cliches after cliches. All right, so I can't get this hand to work, which makes me one of two things. One, I'm doing it wrong, or two, I grabbed the wrong parts of it. So what I'm going to do is over here, I'm going to try to assemble this part of the hand. I think this is wrong. Okay, so I think this is not D29. This is something else. So we're going to see. Nope, that is D29 and D28. So theoretically, these two parts of the hand should lock in together around the pole there. But they're not. So now I have to see why they're not. Oh, no, okay. That does work. So theoretically, I should be able to get these two parts connected around this. And I don't know why I can't, but I can't. So we'll figure it out, friends. We got this. And Akane realizes that, like, wow, even though they're alone together, she really does trust Yamada. She definitely has she's always already developed feelings for him, but she does feel very safe with him, which is nice. Yamada leaves, and the episode ends with Akane being bummed that he left. That wanting to spend more time with them. Do I think these characters are going to start dating by the end of this show? I think there's only like 2 episodes left, maybe 3 episodes left. So I don't fucking know. Maybe. I don't know if there's a 13 episodes of this series. I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to look it up. Let's look it over on AniChart. AniChart.net. Let's hit the spring season. Let's do search Yamada. 13 episodes. Great. So we got 3 more episodes to see if these two kids can get together. I hope so. Madhouse does it, if that means anything to you. It's one of my favorite shows this season. It's really nice. It's a good time. All right. So we got our beam saber and our lance, which is a silly thing. Is this the reason that I bought this kit? Purely because it has a lance, this nonsense thing? It's not the only reason I bought this kit, but it's one of the reasons, because this is such a silly tool or a weapon that I thought was so funny that I was like, all right, I got to get this. It's not the only reason I got this kit. It's one of the reasons I got it. All right, so guns, we don't need to worry about the gun. We got to do the big lance, the nonsense lance. All right, so now we're going to jump down and we're going to work our way up by building the feet. And do we do 2 at once? No. Gonna do. We are going to do 2 at once, even though they have us do 1 full leg and then the other. We're going to do 2 at the same time, because why not? Because they are completely, the first part's completely symmetrical, so we might as well just do it all at once. Just why not? That way we learn how to do it. We put that into practice immediately. Might as well. All right, so Otaku Elf, which is on High Dive. Yamada at level 999 is on Crunchyroll. This is Otaku Elf, the story about a world, a version of our own Earth, where elves, years and years and years ago, were summoned to be the goddesses of Japan. And our main elf, Elda, has been there for a very long time, and she's an otaku. She's become like a homebody from living many, many years. At the beginning of this show, she got a new Miku, a new person to help her out. So Koto, who just wants to grow up, she just wants to be an adult with adult responsibility. She wants to grow up fast. That's her main trait, and also she needs Elda to get her act together. Let's see, we need B42. Koito discovers that Elda loves the rain because it allows her to laze around, but, oh, you love the rain, huh? Would you like the rain if it got in through a leak in the roof and ruined your collection of figurines and other paraphernalia? No, she would hate that. So Elda has to let a carpenter into the room, which, disrupts the whole thing, disrupts everybody's life with that. Elda learns more about like modern raincoats. And so this is the thing that happens a lot in this series is a new thing is presented to Elda, which she is not aware of. It reminds her of the past. We see the past. So like you could maybe even learn something from this show. That they used oil paper, paper that was prepared with oil umbrellas in the Edo period. When the rain stops, they all go outside so they can enjoy the smell of fresh rain. And then Koito is like, hey, I'm going to rearrange your closet for you because we got to get things organized here. Which is, nice. But that doesn't work great because Elda just finds all these toys that she hasn't seen in many years because, cleaning the closet out and discovering a bunch of toys and then having to stop and play with all of them. I totally relate. But in this thing, they find like old videotapes and they find a Betamax of the shrine from 20 years ago. And Elda looks exactly the same because it makes sense. She's an elf. But some things look the same and some things look very different from 20 years, of course. But the one thing that looks interesting is the previous Miko, which is Koito's mother. And she's always comparing herself to her mother, so she doesn't like seeing that and kind of gets bummed out and upset seeing her mom as a teenager. And then Elda, just going with the flow, not realizing that she's kind of like breaking the tension and helping out, offers to lift Koito in the air, which is like a tradition at the end of the period, one of the periods of the year. It's just an old tradition. But Koito is embarrassed by the idea. But that does snap her out of her funk. So, in the end, our elf girl is helping out. It's a lovely episode, lovely series. I think the animation style is really nice. It is a cute show about girls doing stuff. If you like those, if that is your thing, it's got, does it have a supernatural element? I mean, kind of. The main character is an elf that was summoned to this world, so there is that, but it's not heavy on that. It's actually really heavy on Japanese, traditions and, comparing the way things are now to the way things there. Is there a little thing about model kits? Yes, there is. There's a little bit about model kits and not calling everything a Gundam, which is funny. They don't use the word Gundam, but if I don't remember correctly. It's hazy. It's had several episodes, but there is a little bit to love there. Great little series on High Dive. I recommend. Another High Dive series that I also recommend to you is a show called Too Cute Crisis. The premise of Too Cute Crisis is fantastic. There is a group of intergalactic travelers that judge if a society or planet should continue to exist or not. And they decide Earth doesn't seem worth it. Doesn't seem great. But then our main character meets a cat for the first time and is like, wait, what's up with this? It has the reaction of like, why am I mad about how cute this thing is? Like that kind of reaction. And that's all over the show. And the rest of the series is like, she gets a cat named Yozora that she names, and she learns what it means to be a cat parent. There's a whole thing out there which is very, very cute of other aliens show up. It's not just cats. There are a lot of other pets out there. There's showcases of other pets and different ways that people raise pets and cat cafes. And last week's episode had a bunny cafe, which was lovely. And so it's mostly just like a celebration of cool animals and how, thank God, and also like the misunderstandings of them. There was a robot cat at one point. Lots of good silly stuff. All right, I need D7 and D8 on one of these, and the other one first. These are seemingly symmetrical, so we'll find out if they're not. But D7 and D8. Great. In this week's episode of Too Cute Crisis, we see that Fiona, one of the high-ranking aliens, has come to Earth. She's the one that animals are weirded out about, which is a thing that some people relate to. Some people like animals just instinctively are not super into them, and these fine folks do not know what to do about that. They do not know how to fix that and make them like something that animals feel approached that can approach. But she's learning how to get close to cats by hanging out with the main cat of the show. It's genuinely pretty funny and kind of relatable that she's just like having such a rough time getting any attention from animals because they're just like not into her. Let's see. Oh, and then one of the other aliens, Garami, decides, I'm going to get myself a bunny rabbit, and I'm going to name it Hanada. Great name for a bunny rabbit. And we get to learn that whole thing of like, hey, taking care of pets, that's a big commitment for this little alien to have to be figuring out how it works. And then like you get Lisa's like old hat at understanding animals now because she's had a cat for like a little while. But there's some humans that are around. Obviously, they don't know they're dealing with aliens. That they're around to offer advice, which is very nice and kind of them. So you do get some advice for these various pets, which is good. All right, C17 and C19. Let's see. There's a flashback to a couple of the aliens and how they became friends. That's really lovely. Very fun. It's good reflective of how they're roommates and their lifelong friendship. And then Garami and Luster, the two aliens, the alien pair, are like, hey, we want to make YouTube content about our bunny. How do we do, like, what's a good way to make content about it? Because they want to share the love about their cool pet and let people know how awesome their bunny Hinata is. There's like no conflict in this episode, but it's still cute and fun. And it continues to show how more aliens are being friendly with the humans as time goes on. And it is all related to animals and all that. It is still a very cute series. Sometimes the animation feels like they don't have a lot of money. But it's still... Look, the thing you want the most is... The pets are very cute, and the people react like they are shot when they see a cute animal. They have such a strong, wonderful reaction to it. It is a lovely little series. I love that my 3 shows that I watch on Friday and Saturday are about like a lazy Otaku Elf, a bunch of aliens learning about how cute human pets are, and human animals in general, and then also like a pretty decent romantic comedy. And that's like my... I watch a bunch of other stuff. I should say that. I don't say that every once in a while. Like, there's a lot of shows, like usually it's like season 2s. The only season 2 I'm actively talking about this right now is Witch from Mercury, because it is a Gundam series that a wide amount of my audience here, my regulars, watch as well. So I talk about that. But I'm not talking about Kuma 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 Bear Punch. I'm not talking about Tonikawa season 2, Over the Moon for You. Like there's sequel series that are out this season that I'm watching. I'm just not talking about them every week. Tonikawa, I'm actually not watching at the moment. I'm waiting for a bunch to come out because that show is saccharine. It's like very sweet. That I like watching a bunch of them all at once instead of watching it weekly. But yeah, I usually mostly focus on new shows or new adaptations, but I do watch some sequel series. It's as a thing like it's a weird thing to be like, okay, so this is a thing that to get the context of this, you have to watch a whole season of a thing. So I try not to do season twos, but we are doing Witcher Mercury because it is topical to a large portion of my audience. So feels like we should talk about it. All right, I just got to clean this up, and the feet are done. Now is the part of the stream. We have come to the part of the stream where I ask you, people who are watching, who are active in chat right now, what are you watching right now? These days. You watching any anime? You watching any TV? You getting caught up on stuff? Did you see that Spider-Man movie? No spoilers, of course, but you can say if you saw it. What games are you playing? You playing Street Fighter 6? You in early on Diablo 4, which you talked about before, how I'm not playing that yet. Are you playing the Forspoken DLC? Did you know there's Forspoken DLC? Obviously, they were working on it before the game came out, but they did put out DLC for Forspoken this week. You playing Sunshine Shuffle? Like you get the Switch version of that. Like, let me know. What are you playing? Lord Crashton says across the universe. Across the universe. That's different. Across the Spider-Verse is fantastic. Lord Crashton, I'm glad to hear it. I hope you had a great time. That's rad. I hope you very much enjoyed your time with that movie. I will see it. Here's the thing. That movie, I'm going to spend money to rent it. I'm not going to wait for it to be in a service. I'm going to rent it. I'm not going to see it in theaters because I don't want to go to the movie theaters. I just don't. I never really went before the Troubles. So I think it's less likely that I will be going in the, post/during the Troubles. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. John says, I did not see the new Spider-Man movie. You're watching Tim Robinson's show on Netflix, going back to the Front Mission remaster on Switch. Nice. I have not watched. I don't have Netflix right now, so I have not seen it. I usually wait for like a few things to come out, and then I will get Netflix for a month, or this month this thing. I'm getting it soon, I guess, because there's gonna be Black Clover on Netflix. When is that? When is Black Clover Netflix? And I really like Black Clover, so I'm gonna have to watch that. Black Clover, Sword of the Wizard King is a movie, and it looks like that might actually be out. Is that out? Initial release June 16th, so it's coming out. Okay, so I will tell you this, friends. I will be watching Netflix at some point this month, and then I'll go back and watch, season 3, I Think You Should Leave, and anything else that's coming up. But yeah, okay, that comes out June 16th on the old Netflix, so I'm going to have to watch that. That's just definitely going to have to check that shit out. I believe that is, that is only subtitles, I want to say. I do not believe that got dubbed so soon. I don't know if it'll get dubbed, but it might. But I'm definitely going to have to check that out because I really enjoy that series. I like Black Clover quite a bit. So I want to finish the fight. Because I think the movie, I think the movie ends the arc. I don't think the movie is going to end the series. It might. Ursifan finished Tears of the Kingdom. I've been poking around Diablo. We had a graduation party for your daughter today, so that was a lot of my day. Nice. I mentioned I had my final D&D session happened, so that was a good portion. Also recorded. That was early today. Recorded a video. Did some work out there. I'm tweeting a little bit about tomato plants. If you want to check my tweets for that stuff, update on that. So you gotta grab if you waited till the tomatoes, especially the cherry tomatoes. If I waited till the cherry tomatoes were fully ripened, there's a good chance that a squirrel or squirrels would grab them. And it's like, yeah, that sucks, but like, well, they're eating, okay. Here's the thing. They don't like tomatoes. And I know they don't like tomatoes because these squirrels will grab a tomato off the vine, but take a couple bites out of it and leave it very close to the tomato plants and then just go. So not only are they ruining tomatoes, they're not even eating them. They're just like they're just like a kid being like, do I like tomatoes? I'm gonna just try. No, I don't like tomatoes. I'll just leave this here. It sucks. I hate that. So what you gotta do is you gotta take them off the vine when they're like orange, before they've turned completely ripened, and then you put them on a windowsill in some sunlight, and they'll be good. Then you slice them in half. You put them on a salad. I don't particularly enjoy tomatoes, but my parents do. So I like marinara sauce. I like stewed tomatoes. I like cooked tomatoes. I don't particularly enjoy raw tomatoes. Like, if a sandwich has a slice of tomato on it and it's easy for me to take that slice off, I will take that slice off. Especially like if I got it at like a fast food place, I would just say no tomato. Now, if somebody made me a sandwich and it had a tomato in it, a sliced tomato, I'd eat that. That's fine. But yeah, I'm not big on raw tomato, so I don't eat them. That's the whole thing. But there's something to be said about having tomatoes in the backyard, grabbing those tomatoes, washing them, slicing them, putting them on a salad, consuming those tomatoes that you grew. There's something about that, right? It's like, oh, hell yeah. I've always said this, that like, I don't particularly care about like gardening. That's not a thing that I've ever been super interested in. Like, I mow the lawn because that is a job that I do, and the lawn needs to be mowed. But I'm not like, when I'm done, I'm not like, this is a good looking lawn. I'm just like, okay, the lawn has been mowed. I hope the lawn does not grow too fast. I would like it to have some rain, but not enough rain that this lawn grows very quickly. Like, that is kind of my vibe. That has kind of always been my vibe. So this goes like this. John says, we have an apricot tree, and going back and getting a fresh apricot is 10 out of 10. Hell yeah. Yeah, there's something about it that's fun, that I while it's not my thing, I can appreciate it, and there is something to be said for that. But yeah, so that's been kind of, I don't know. It's kind of my Saturday. Went to the dump today here where I live with my folks. We don't have trash pickup. Instead, there is a dump. They call it a dump. It's a recycling center and trash center. It's not like a landfill. It is like a concrete slab out in the middle, down a street, down a long path that you go to, and has like a place for your lawn clippings, a place for your cardboard recycling, a place for bottle recycling, a place for kitchen trash, a place for like large pieces of equipment or large items, metal, like all kinds of stuff, batteries. Hey, if you're like, you got some batteries to dispose of, they got a spot for that. And then people come and take those away, and who knows what they do with them after, but you sort them and you do all that thing. So we do that. We had a lot of leaves from the spring and the winter and all of that down here that needed to get cleaned up. So we just finished that up. So I went to the dump today. And lots of cardboard recycling, because I get a lot of cardboard boxes in the mail, and so does my mother. She's not getting like Lego and model kits in the mail, but I am. So I get some boxes. Boxes on boxes. So we do that. And that works out pretty good. When making that work. It's not as nice as just putting trash out at curbside or the end of your driveway. There are services that do it, and a few people do that, but let's just pay yourself, and this is like a thing. Is to keep HOA fees low. Keep keeps that pretty secure. So it's like, all right, fine, whatever. What's going on here? Sorry. When I do the other leg, this will make a lot more sense to me. But right now, I'm like, why does this have like a peg on it? And where does this peg go? And why is this leg like this? Like that's the knee bent, but why is it why does it do this? Why, what? What's up? Why is this like this? I must have done something wrong here because this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel good. That's always fun when you assemble something. You're just like, this can't be how this goes because it just doesn't like this doesn't look right, right? Like there's just like this separation there. Like when it's like this, it's fine, but when I open the leg goes like it regularly should be, it pops open slightly. So I'm like, great. Now I get to undo all this and redo it and try to make sense of what I did wrong. That's fun. We use our part separator here and try to like just go through this slowly, step by step, and figure out what I did, why this isn't working right. So I'm just going to unassemble all of this here. And then we'll try to figure out what I did wrong. Okay, so we start with this like this. Then we got to put this like this. This has to go in bent like this way. And there's like a little bit of some sort of like guide, but it's hard to read because I don't read Japanese. So I kind of just have to go off a little bit off of vibes of just like, okay, this looks right. But also, like I said, I got the part separator. I'll figure out what I did wrong as we go and try to make up for my mistakes. Okay. So this seems right. This seems right. Now this doesn't look bad. Okay. So then the ridge side is out here. And then this part's like this. And this part's like this. And I think this is right. So then this is going to be the part that was wrong, that felt wrong before. And so hopefully now, when I attach this, it's going to feel right. It does! Hell yeah! Okay. I don't know what that was. I don't know why that was weird. But it's now not weird. So hopefully when I do the other leg, it won't be weird either. We'll have to put armor on this, so this isn't done. It's still going to need armor. And it's going to need stickers. It's going to, what appears to be several stickers have to go on the armor that goes on the sides of this. And they'll all be gold. This is all the gold stickers. But apparently I got to put a lot of stickers on there, which is annoying. And that is Monday Pat's problem. Because Saturday night Pat is done building a model kit, which rules. So then Monday Pat is going to have to deal with that. Now, we had a huge raid at the start of the stream. We have to pay that forward by going out on a raid of our own. So thank you, everybody, for joining me tonight. We are going to go ahead and go and get set up to go on a raid. Because as mentioned, we always end with a raid. And, of course, we got one from Silver Streak, which was so kind. No, not Monday Night Garfla. What? No. We're gonna find somebody out there doing cool shit that we want to go hang out with. So let's see. That's my promise to you, friends, is that I will always have us raid somebody who's awesome. That's my big requirement. We always end with the raid, indeed. let's go hang out with TQ. TQ rules. Witchy TQ. I have not hung out with TQ. We have not rated TQ in a while. She's a lovely YouTuber and Twitch streamer and poster of photos on websites. And she rules. And so we're going to go give her a raid. Feel free to come along. Her community is rad. She's built a lovely little crew. So we'll go give her a raid and hang out with her. She's been streaming for 3 hours, so she might wrap up soon. I hope she's doing it for a little while, but either way, I know we'll have a good time hanging out. So feel free to come along on this raid. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great night, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.